Inside Technique, Episode 4. Miami plays the Jags on Thursday. Just so you know, that's today. Now let's get this motherfucker jumping.
Remember what I say. Until I keep count. What a nigga speak out. Lamborghini dreams, beach house wishes, pour bottles of champagne
For my beach house bitches.
It ain't new to me, that money boy I been bout. Throwing hundreds on the floor, I tell her keep count. Nigga, they in love with what I say, cause I really live the life you other niggas speak bout. Got my cameraman, he down to do a movie for me. Couple niggas round us down to do the shooting for me. I'm still riding with my main bitch, she rolling the joint, something old school playing. She love me, we in the flat free zone when some niggas will captain save it. I let her shot till she dropped dead, sleeping in her crib, wake up to decent pop plan. Jordan shorts and a pair of polo socks blazing with your bitch. You wanna live, smoke this. I'm glad to be here out the way.
So long, so long, so long.
I finally found me a cousin.
Float on, and I'ma float on. Yeah, I'ma float on. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I love rap. But every day, we as a culture stray further and further away from God. Like, further away from the necessity of this genre, my nigga. It's a sad day for black people, man. They did some crazy shit to Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? They did some crazy shit to her family, you know? But the whole time, while all this shit is happening, you fucking hip hop heads, historian, nerdy ass, dweeby niggas is trying to convince us that we need a Kendrick Lupe Fiasco beat. Like, I can't think of anything that would probably be more boring in my life than hearing Kendrick Lamar and Lupe Fiasco diss each other. That beef would be a crime against humanity. Just a horrible ill that we put on society by sitting there and just letting Lupe Fiasco and Kendrick Lamar diss each other. There's so many fucking things I'd rather do than do that. One being trimming grass with a Bic razor. Tying my shoes left-handed. Selling crack cocaine to my grandmother. There's so many other egregious things I'd rather do than listen to Kendrick Lamar and Lupe Fiasco make my ears want to jump off my face. Like, that shit would be so fucking horrible, bro. And then if that's not enough, you fucking backpacker ass niggas is trying to convince us that the undercard to this beef is Logic versus Reason? Nigga, Logic versus Reason? That sounds like a fucking elective at a liberal arts college for women. Like, I don't want to fucking listen to that shit. It sounds horrible, bruh. One, it's gonna be redundant. Not just because their names mean the same thing, but because they don't have shit to really talk about when it comes to each other. Second off, I thought that I was escaping Logic, bro. This nigga told me he was retiring, and I swear to God, bro, I almost threw a Kwanzaa celebration for this nigga in the middle of the summer because I thought this nigga was retiring, bro. I was like, finally, this world and this rap culture has ridded me of this mulatto menace. This light-skinned leopard who has fucking tainted the world of hip-hop with his falsehoods and fake insanity. I thought I was done with this nigga, bro. But no, he keeps creeping back into my life in some way, some shape, or some form. This nigga got a fucking Twitch account. My knowledge of Twitch is you get on that motherfucker, you play video games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't play video games. I went outside as a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually had fucking friends. So, I didn't have to make friends online. you're lame. But for y'all niggas who did, and now you're fucking 26, 27 still playing video games, wondered why all you do is beat your meat on the weekends. That's neither here nor there. But maybe y'all can correct me. But I always thought that Twitch was for video games. Like, that's all you was there for. Like, you get on there and you stream yourself playing video games, and then you'll happen upon academics yelling or ranting about something, right? That's what I thought it was for. Come to find out, it's a fucking platform for Logic to tell us that he's a producer. A fucking producer? I don't even want to hear you rap, much less make beats. Bro, that's the thing about it, bro. How can you listen to Jay-Z, you listen to Jadakiss, Freddie Gibbs, Conway, Redman, people who are barred up, right? Real fucking lyricists, right? And then you'll be like, oh, I'm just as good as them, so I deserve a fucking victory lap in a championship run, a last tour when I fucking retire, and then I'm gonna ascend to being a producer, which is arguably way more important than the actual rapper in rap. Like, you hear a fucking Alchemist beat, a Metro Boomin beat, a fucking Evidence beat, Kanye West beat, you're just like, yeah, now I'm gonna do that as well. Like, no, just because you fucking look like Zach Morris with acne doesn't mean you get to run around and do whatever the fuck you want to do in this genre, my nigga. If you said you're gonna retire, sit your bitch ass down and retire, my nigga. Fulfill your motherfucking promises as a man, dog. Cause you're hurting me, you're hurting the fucking listeners, and it's breaking my goddamn heart, bro. Just stop it. Please stop it. The bigger issue here is social media, bro. These niggas just shouldn't have social media. It makes no goddamn sense that Lupe Fiasco is on social media telling his fucking feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, nigga? You about 40, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be on Facebook, you on Instagram talking crazy wild or whatever. That's cool. I mean, I get it. And it's the same with Punch. Like, what is going on out here? Like, y'all niggas is supposed to be grown ass men. That shit's supposed to be for children. But, I mean, even me, like, as a person who grew up in, like, the social media era, like, I had social media when I was in middle school, and Facebook, and MySpace, and all that shit. Like, we had that shit growing up. So, I don't know. I would say I'm millennial, Gen Z. I don't know what I am. I just know I had access to the internet and knowing how to work the internet. But it's at a whole nother level now. Taking the conversation away from them, because fuck them and fuck their beef. Like, it's trash. Taking the conversation away from them. Social media has become a space where it's like, it's commodified so heavily and so deeply that you can't not be on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm saying that they shouldn't be on it, they can't not be. And that trickles down to the kids today. Like, for example, this nigga Zaire Wade got caught up on TikTok. Don't ask me how. The shit just happened across my desk. Some TikTok shit happened across my desk. But he got caught up on TikTok by his side bitch. Now, I don't know. Again, I grew up in social media era, so I don't know what I prefer. Do I prefer what happened to me when I get caught up, where I have to have a standoff with this bitch? I gotta tell her, hey, go ahead, call her then. I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, would I rather have to lie my fucking ass off, or would I rather have her air me out passive aggressively on social media? Because what I know about social media, being around it, being from it, you're gonna just rebrand. It's just gonna happen. It's gonna keep cycling over and over again. It's gonna happen. And if it happens in your home, she is not really going anywhere. So I don't know what I really prefer, but I just know that these kids aren't doing anything different than what we have done. And They're just used to doing it in front of the camera and having the camera in their face. And it's partly because that's the way information and technology is working now, and partly because it's beneficial for them to commodify and become a social media whatever. So that means you got to keep providing more content, providing more content. But yeah, like I was saying, there's not shit that we haven't done that they're going to do. It's just going to happen in a different way. In that point in case, really, is Bronny. If you don't know by now, my nigga Bronny got caught up smoking weed on Instagram. From optics, it looks like he accidentally sent that motherfucker to the professional page when it was supposed to be on the Finsta. And it happens to the best of us, you know what I'm saying? But because Bronny is commodifying his Instagram and people are interested in what he's doing, they snatched that motherfucker in like 28 seconds. It got crazy, bro. Like, how did you even screen record some shit that fast? Of course, this shit turned into a semi big thing. People were so interested in why she smoking weed, doing this, doing that. I think the nigga like 15, 16 years old or some shit like that. They saying he too young or some shit. But for me, I always try to be empathetic and put myself in those shoes, and it made me reflect on myself, my life, and my vice usage. Now, everything I'm about to say is gonna apply to me solely. You know what I'm saying? Don't have nothing to do with what you do over there, what you do in your fucking space sect life, and why you decide to do what you do. If you want to talk about it, hash it out at FNR underscore TIG with two G's, like I tell you every episode, and I'm going to talk back to you. But I started smoking weed at a very young age. I can tell you how it started. I was in 5th grade, hanging in the Sycamore Projects in Fulton, Missouri, with someone, keep that name out of fucking the limelight. I don't know what he's on right now, but hold your head. And we had stumbled across another person who happened to be my family member, and I seen that nigga smoking weed. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna tell. Bro, I was 6'9" in my ass as a kid, bro. I used to tell for the dumbest reasons. I would tell, nigga. If you look at me wrong, I'd tell on you, bro. I'm the youngest, so I'm gonna tell on your ass swift as hell, right? So I seen that nigga smoking weed. I'm like, well, I'm about to tell on you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He's like, come here. He put that motherfucker on my mouth. He said, poo. I pulled that motherfucking exhale, and he was like, yeah. Now you can't tell, cause you now a part of it. You smoked it. You are now a part of this. Whole time, I could have easily told, but I'm young. I'm in 5th grade. Nigga did his Inception shit. You know, it was like hood Inception. Nigga was good at it, bro. I don't understand how he kept going back to jail. If he was fucking this good at manipulating shit, don't get it. Story for another day. But after feeling the experience of it, seeing how it took me to a different space, I didn't really give a fuck about shit because I was a worried kid. I was always worried about shit. I'm a worried person now. But see how it took me to a different space, I don't really care much about it, or whatever problem I was addressing, it would be in the front of my head and I would finish addressing that problem by the time I was done being high, which was only at maximum like 45 minutes. I just found it useful for escapism at that age. You know what I'm saying? And because I think I started it so young, I wasn't using it well. It wasn't putting me in the best spaces in life because it's not the way that it is now. Anyone that smokes weed will tell you it's not the way that it is now. You have to put yourself in some sketchy situations to get some bud back then, bro. And this is only what 2005, 2003, 2004. But you have to put yourself in some sketchy situations that a fucking 5th grader or 6th grader should not be in to get some fucking bud. I can tell you about this one experience just being like a young nigga trying to get weed and shit, just being dramatically too young to be smoking weed or doing what we were doing. So there's this nigga, he's like a year older than me in school, but we was around the same age, but he was like a year older than me in school. And his name was Baby Dion. Baby Dion, raw at basketball, coolest nigga, bro. Top five coolest nigga, man, at that time. And he was just spoiled though. Like his mom would let him do everything. So she would just let him ride around in like her new at the time Chrysler 300. And she would also just let him smoke weed. Let him do whatever. He was getting tattoos at a young age, everything. Like he was starting trends in the hood. Like niggas was like, we gotta get tats. Like we can't let this nigga get. Older niggas was like, we can't let this young nigga out tat us. You know what I'm saying? Old niggas like, we can't let this young nigga out smoke us. So like Baby D was like one of the standards in the hood, right? So again, he in the car, right? He come pick me up. Him and another one of his cousins. We about to go smoke. By this time, I'm smoking every day. Since that night at the Sycamore Projects, I'm smoking every day, nigga. I just loving the feeling, bro. I love to wake up high. Like I just want to feel that feeling every day. So we go to some sketchy ass place where Baby D's cousin had to go in and go get it because we too young, and he was like, it's kind of whatever. So he go in and go get it, and bring it back out. We roll up, whatever. You know, at that time, niggas is smoking out them white, great white owls. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was smoking out some bullshit back then. So I get to smoking and shit. Again, like I said, I'm smoking every day. So I know how the weed gonna make me feel. And there wasn't too many flavors back then. So it wasn't like a different strain, my nigga. It's whatever they had in Missouri at the time is what I was smoking. You know what I'm saying? So I get to smoking. I'm like, this feel different. You know what I'm saying? Like I never felt this way before. I don't know why it feels this way. And like I don't know if I was freaking out. So I was trying to be cool. I was like, maybe I'm too high, maybe I'm this, that, or third. But they kept looking back at me. And I don't think they did it on purpose. But I think Baby D was nervous too. Because he's like, I don't never felt this way before either. But all I remember from that night is looking out the window and passing uh through the creek, like over by Stinson Creek, passing through that motherfucker. And I'm in the back of the car by the system, so it's like stupid loud. And I'm just like surrounded by fucking little fat count my money backwards. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like the song is surrounding me. Like I feel the song surrounding me. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a different type of high. Like this is not the fucking mid Missouri mid weed I'm used to, and this is not high grade weed at the time. They didn't have that shit. So now I'm looking out the window. I get kind of fucking freaked out because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I look back in, and this nigga Lil Fat is rapping Count My Money Backwards right beside me. Like in my head, it's happening, but I also see it too. It's fucking crazy. I gotta play this song for you so you just feel the ambiance of what I'm talking about.
Maggie, all of these boys don't feel this. From a 9-piece to factory, we get money, yeah. I like to count my money backwards. It's faster. I'm not a rapper, I'm a trapper. No actor, we wait up and then we rapper. Go exer and watch me move her like Casper. It's Mister.
Count my fucking money backwards.
It's faster. I'm not a rapper, I'm a trapper.
So yeah, Little Fat is rapping that shit to my stupid ass, and I'm just like, I gotta get home. I gotta get home. I gotta get home. I gotta get home. And I guess I'm thinking this shit, but I'm actually saying it out loud. Like, I gotta get home. I gotta get home. I gotta get home. This nigga Baby D's like, me too, man. So here we are, these fucking preteen ass kids riding around Fulton, Missouri, fucked up like crazy. And we're just like, all right, we gotta get home. So he drops me off on Ann Street. I stumble my way into the house and I lay down, drink a lot of water, eat some bread, try to get this shit out of me. And like, saw that nigga the next day. I was like, you alright? He's like, I'm alright. And that's how that shit went, man. But to this day, as an adult, I've never been that high. And I've smoked a lot of weed, a lot of good weed, a lot of bad weed, but I've never been that high to that point. So, like I'm saying, I put myself in sketchy situations. Like I don't want to put nothing on somebody, but put two and two together. I put myself in sketchy situations because of weed. Now, unpacking that, why was I so willing and ready to do that? It's because drugs, to me, and where I'm from, wasn't something that was as taboo as it seems. It was always around me. People were either using drugs or people was selling drugs. It was means of currency, and it was a means of survival and means of entertainment. And also my home life was fucked up. I felt from a very young age that I had to get out of here. I always had to have a pressure of getting out of here. So because I always wanted to get out of here physically and I couldn't, I had to get out of there mentally. And that's probably why I stayed smoking weed for so long, and it became a toxic relationship because I can go years without smoking weed, like literal years. There was like a point in my life I probably went like from junior year to high school to the end of college, I didn't smoke weed. Like I would smoke sparingly, but I didn't smoke every day like I used to. There's probably several factors for that. But the biggest one that I'm going to share with y'all is because I have made it out of my neighborhood. So I wasn't trying to escape that place anymore. Now, stopping smoking weed for such a long time or only doing it sparingly, it didn't hinder my life or it didn't help my life. Like my life was indifferent with or without weed. So now I can look at the drug or my vice objectively. But I can also be empathetic and apply that same knowledge to Bronny. I don't know what Bronny's motives is, and I don't want to put words in his mouth. But from my personal experience in doing and smoking weed for so long, he probably experiences a lot of pressure. I can only imagine what it's like to be under the spotlight for so long. Like think about it. This nigga posted a video accidentally and within 28 seconds they had it. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And now they want you to live up to your father, and he's probably being realistic about his life. Like 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna be that. You're not gonna be arguably the one of the top two greatest basketball players of all time. It's not gonna happen. But that doesn't mean you're not gonna try, and it also doesn't mean that you don't have everyone expecting you to be the heir to this throne. Literally and metaphorically. Like you are the heir to this empire that LeBron is building. That's some type of pressure, bro. And we can alleviate that. And if used properly, it can be beneficial. But it's when it becomes improper, when you're not addressing the pressures of society, when you're not addressing your stressors and you're hiding behind that for me personally I experienced where it will put me in situations where I'm fucked up either mentally or physically because of my need to escape my reality. Another reason why my relationship with marijuana is toxic is because I seen what it does to people's lives. Now you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like weed doesn't do like no. Weed is not a gateway drug. Weed is not gonna fuck you over and have you doing something crazy or nothing like that. But there is an aspect of being a part of weed and selling weed and being around weed, especially in a state at that time like Missouri, where you could get fucked up somehow by these police. Not to put my brother's business out there, but that's my nigga. He be alright. My brother has been in and out of the penal system since he was 15, 16 years old. His first offense that he caught was the possession of marijuana on a school campus. Since then, he's been in and out of jail, been on probation, been off of probation, back on probation. His life has been fucked over in large part because of the war on drugs. Granted, everyone has choices. He made choices and habitually makes wrong choices. That's my nigga. I can be honest with you. But if y'all weren't criminalizing marijuana and coming at it in such a crazy way and having people believe that this shit was something that it's not, or as a means to further institutionalize slavery, then who's to say my brother couldn't be the person he was supposed to be? We was the same age. We was all doing the same shit. He was the same age as Bronny when he caught his case. All he was doing was smoking weed. So I can't help but to think what my brother could have been if maybe he was even allowed to leave the state at certain times. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if he was afforded the mental sovereignty of knowing that his vice and his choices wasn't a criminal act. And, you know, like I was saying, my brother is 30 now. So 15, 16, that's 15 or 14 years of his life that he's given in some way, shape, or form to either the federal government or the state of Missouri. Now, weed is decriminalized in Missouri, and they're also pushing for medical marijuana. Now, even if they expunge my brother's initial drug charge, are they going to give him back that time and all the residual time that has come from that? Because you can't replace time. That's the one thing we haven't figured out yet, how to replace time. So, that's another reason why my love and relationship with weed is toxic. Because as a black man, I know that anything I do is going to be weaponized against me. And this all goes back to my fucking love for rap music. God, I hate that I love that shit so fucking much. Because this shit is of our culture. And I say that because rap music comes from reggae. So that means we come from Rastas. That means we come, if you're a product of this, I just want to say we, as if you're a product of this. You're connected to the herb and what it means to you through this rap music in some way, shape, or form. It's what we do. We come from jazz, where they use reefer songs to explain how they feel. You know, it's a part of us. It is part of our culture. But like anything, they're gonna find a way to criminalize our culture the same way they found ways to criminalize gang culture, same way they found ways to criminalize rap in general. The fucking hip hop police, these niggas are criminalizing rap in general. They're gonna find a way to criminalize our culture. So they found a way to criminalize marijuana, just to criminalize the black person. And I understand that. I also understand the flaws. I also understand that marijuana enables me to not give a fuck about problems or to hyper address problems. I understand everything that has to do with marijuana and what it brings to me. But I only understand that because of the growth that I've had with weed, the growth that I've had with the plant, the growth that I've had with myself. If you don't allow someone to grow, if you don't allow someone to even know if they like this shit or not, like at 16 years old, you could smoke weed every day for 2 years or 3 years and realize, I don't even fucking like this shit like that. Or you could address whatever your problem is at a clinical level where it's going to make you feel like you don't need it. You don't even know. But we're chastising people for choices that aren't even mistakes. This nigga made a choice. He's gonna learn from the choice or not. It's not a mistake though. He didn't do anything wrong. He lives in a state where it's legal under an age limit for sure, but if it's legal, I mean, you try to tell me that you and your white buddies didn't crack open a few brews together and stone cold them shits. It's the same concept, man. It is what it is. So, that knowledge and that understanding of weed and what it means, and knowing that I'm from rap culture, is why that motherfucker is my toxic love, my toxic relationship, and the only relationship that I've been in and allowed to be toxic for this long. Because I just have to know my boundaries, or I just have to know what it is for me. Because it's our own personal journeys. So let Bronny grow. I'm gonna let Logic grow. I'm gonna let Reason grow as an artist. Just don't pick no fucking fights with Logic, because I don't want to hear that bullshit. Another true episode of Inside Technique, just one-on-one with myself and my thoughts. So, thank you for fucking with me. I'm gonna drop you off with some real cool shit. Bear with me.
You say you heard a lot about me. Nigga, fuck what you heard. It's all fun and games till it happens like a base god curse. Yeah, cell keep ticking on me like I'm 617. Yeah, my cousin Steve Steers like he's 617. Okay, devil on my shoulder, marijuana from Boulder. You know my niggas in this motherfucking bitch. If being ugly was pretty, I'd be the shit. Never been nowhere but these niggas, they love this. Eritrea, Ethiopia, Habesha, Utopia. Bitches getting cold, the niggas grab your Patagonia. So I told me a quieter. I had to get a baby who could make me get wired up. You know I'm about that action. My nigga Mark could get it crackin'. Open up your soul and take your body like what's happening. I'm not a succulent, a sucker, baby girl. These fruits made me, I bring my flowers to the world. It's on me.
When my flaws like ice, keep my soul inside.
The sun is on me.
And my stems don't bite if the light shines bright.
It's raining on me.
My guilt weigh heavy, it cost me a life.
I got my own seeds.
They rip my pedals to my six, cause my roots won't die.
Check this out.
Like humans and animals, plants need both water and nutrients to survive. Food. Most of the plants use water to carry moisture, nutrients, back and forth between the roots and the leaves. Bitch.
Searching for my shelter through the storm. I find peace, my safe haven, keeping me far away from harm. Nevertheless, the greener grass is proof the roots are strong. But now we standing here divided. Choose the side where you belong. I'ma keep the lights on. All I see is red, so we awake the dead. She likes my third eye, she loves my third leg. This my third time around the worldwide winds. Give me the Versace Benz. Put work in, made my words work with pens. Scribbling sins, I drop gems. I don't got tick-tock time for them seeds. You stems, evil man plotting. We see you, go, we watching. We see you, believe me, you. We see you. Get your ass up out that grass and stretch your limbs. Photosynthesis, I see the future picture, take a glimpse. Everything you trying to have is in your grab, so get a grip.
Mr. Room,
It's for the kids.
Mr. Room.
Yo, what it is, yeah. It's on me.
When my flaws like ice, keep my soul inside.
The sun is on me.
And my stems don't bite if the light shines bright.
It's raining on me.
My guilt weigh heavy, it cost me a life.
I got my own seeds.
They rip my pedals to my six, cause my roots won't die. Holy, 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 holy.